Find the maximum minimum values of f of x, y, z equals y squared minus 10z, subject to the constraint x squared plus y squared plus z squared equals 36. For this one, we're going to use Lagrange multipliers. Basically, we want the partials to be equal to each other. So starting off with f, the partial derivative with respect to x is 0, and then partial derivative of g with respect to x is 2x. For y, that's going to be 2y equals 2y lambda, and then negative 10 equals 2z lambda. Now from here we have many different cases to consider. So let's start off with the first equation. This one says either lambda equals 0 or x equals 0. So let's consider both cases. So let's say if lambda is 0, that means that if we go on the bottom here, we have 2y equals 0, which means y is 0. And then going down here, negative 10 equals 0, which that's a contradiction. So lambda cannot equal 0. Let's go to x equals 0. Well, if x equals 0, we continue down to this one right here. So this means that either y equals 0 or lambda equals 1. So think of this as like a subset. So you could go two different directions when x is 0. Either y is going to be 0 or lambda equals 1. So let's start with y equals 0. Well, we have both x and y equal to 0. So if we plug it in here, we have z squared equals 36. So that means z is plus or minus 6. So x and y are 0, but then z is either positive or negative 6. And then if lambda equals 1, we go down to this one. We have negative 10 equals 2z. So z equals negative 5. And so now we would need to solve for y by plugging it in. So if x squared, if x is 0, so that's 0 squared, which is 0, plus y squared. Well, we want to solve for y. And then z is negative 5 squared equals 36. Simplifying, we have y squared plus 25 equals 36. Y squared equals 11, so y is plus or minus square root of 11. So the point there is going to be x equals 0, y is plus or minus root 11, and then z is negative 5. So we need to test these guys out. Now we want to plug it into the original equation, y squared minus 10z. So let me write that down again. Okay, so first, if you have 0, 0, 6, or negative 6, and then 0, 0, 6. So y squared is just 0, and then you have negative 10 times negative 6, and then negative 10 times 6, so it's negative 60 and 60. For this one, the y we're going to square it, so it doesn't matter if you have negative root 11 or root 11. When you square it, it's still going to be 11. So we could just calculate this together instead of separating it apart. So if y squared is 11 minus 10 times z, which is negative 5, 11 plus 50, which is 61. And so the original question was find the maximum and minimum values. We need to compare these three values. So clearly 61 is the maximum, and then negative 60 is the minimum. And that is our answer.